Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know the drill, we sift through all the noise and bring you the good stuff, the insights that matter. And today, we're tackling the world of MMA, specifically Francis Ngannou's triumphant return and what it means for the future of fighting for the fighters and for the fans.
It's a fascinating story, really. It's not just about one fight, it's about this power shift we're seeing in combat sports. Fighters are taking control, and this world that was once considered niche is now exploding globally.
Absolutely. We're going to break down Ngannou's victory, for sure, but we're also going to zoom out, look at the bigger picture, the rise of the PFL, the business side of fighting, and what it all means for you, even if you don't know a rear naked choke from an armbar. So picture this. We're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The atmosphere is electric. Ngannou's back for his first MMA fight in almost 3 years, headlining a massive PFL event.
And you have to remember, this is coming after the tragic loss of his young son earlier this year. Ngannou dedicated this fight, this win, to his son Kobe. You could feel the weight of that emotion, couldn't you?
Absolutely palpable. And man, did he make a statement.
He did.
Facing off against Ferreira, a fighter who knows his way around a championship belt, Ngannou was just unstoppable.
Ferreira, he's no pushover. He's a former PFL heavyweight champ, even knocked out Ryan Bader, the Bellator champ. But Ngannou just overwhelmed him.
It was a clinic, a masterclass in power and precision. This is why Ngannou is considered one of, if not the most dangerous heavyweight in the world, period.
Absolutely.
First round, TKO, a relentless barrage of ground and pound punches just ended it. And for those who might not be familiar with the term, ground and pound is pretty self-explanatory. It's a brutal tactic, not for the faint of heart, let me tell you.
It was a decisive win for Ngannou, no doubt, sent shockwaves through the MMA community. But I think more than the win itself, his decision to come back with the PFL, not the UFC, that's really got people talking. It speaks volumes about what's happening in the sport.
This is where it gets interesting, right? The PFL, they've been gaining some serious traction, offering a real alternative to the UFC. And these big-name fighters, they're noticing. What's the draw? What's different about the PFL?
What's the structure, right? It's like a season format, every win matters, and the fighters, they have a share in the revenue. It's a whole different ballgame.
So for a fighter like Ngannou choosing the PFL, that's a power move. And then there's the whole thing with them acquiring Bellator. That just adds another layer to all of this, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, for those of us who might not be totally up on our MMA acronyms, and I'll admit, I'm still learning, what does this PFL and Bellator merger really mean? Break it down for us.
Basically, it creates a whole new playing field.
Yeah.
Imagine Ngannou going toe-to-toe with champions from both organizations. Cross-promotional super fights. It's a dream for fans, and it could completely change the game.
We're talking dream matchups, the kind of fights that seemed impossible before. This is huge.
Yeah, it really is. It's a new era for MMA, And fighters like Ngannou, they're leading the charge. They're not just athletes anymore. They're businessmen, shaping their own careers, calling the shots.
And Ngannou's story, talk about a story. From working in sand mines in Cameroon to becoming this global MMA icon, talk about beating the odds. It's inspirational, It goes way beyond fighting. It's about resilience, about ambition, about fighting for what you believe in. Literally and figuratively, right?
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even in a sport as raw and intense as MMA, you still have these stories of hope, these stories that resonate with people. And let's not forget, it's pretty entertaining to watch, too.
Right. Seeing Ngannou unleash that knockout power is something else. But this PFL event, it wasn't just about him, was it? The undercard was stacked with amazing fights.
Absolutely. This is where the PFL's strategy is so smart, They showcase this diverse range of fighting styles. They've got rising stars. They've got veterans.
Yeah, you had Chris Cyborg, a legend, defending her title against Larissa Pacheco. And Pacheco's tough, man. She brought it. Cyborg, though, relentless pressure, that Muay Thai clinch. She's a force of nature.
She is. She got the win, solidified her legacy. One of the all-time greats, no question.
And speaking of dominance, you had Johnny Eblen, the Bellator middleweight champ, defending his title in a rematch against Fabian Edwards. That fight went the distance, man. Eblen, his wrestling is just next level.
Dominant. But Edwards, you got to hand it to him. The guy's got heart. Kept coming, kept looking for an opening. Real grit from both guys.
And then there's Paul Hughes, pulling off that upset against A.J. McKee. That's what I love about this sport. The unpredictability. Anyone can win on any given night.
Exactly. Upsets like that, they keep you guessing, keep the fans on the edge of their seats. That's the beauty of it.
So we've got Ngannou's return, the PFL's rise, all these other incredible fights. So what does this all mean for the average person? What's the takeaway for someone watching all of this unfold?
Well, I think it shows we're seeing a major shift in combat sports. The power is shifting, there's more athlete autonomy, it's becoming global.
And for Gnu, this is just the beginning. He said he's got big plans, MMA, boxing, who knows?
The question is, what's next for the Predator? Does he stay in the PFL, go for another title run?
Or does he go for the big payday, a boxing mega fight, maybe against Tyson Fury? That's the rumor, at least. There's a lot of buzz about that potential matchup.
Rightfully so. It's a huge decision. I mean, where do you even go from here? That's what everyone's wondering. Gnou's at a crossroads.
It really is a crossroads, isn't it? Not just for Ngannou, but for the whole combat sports landscape.
Totally. I mean, it really highlights how much the power dynamic has changed. Fighters, they have options now. They have leverage. It's a different world.
They're not just fighters anymore, are they? They're brands. They're calling the shots, making the business moves.
Ngannou's a prime example.
Yeah.
Walks away from the UFC, lands this huge PFL deal. It's amazing.
And we're all sitting here wondering, what's next? What's the power play going to be? So let's put you in the hot seat for a second, right? Imagine you're Francis Ngannou, you're back on top, the offers are rolling in. What do you do?
Right. I mean, do you go for another title in the PFL? Cement your legacy in MMA?
Or do you go for the spectacle? The mega fight, the Tyson Fury fight, that payday's got to be tempting.
It's a massive decision. Personally, professionally, it makes you think, what kind of legacy would you want to build?
That's what I love about this sport, these stories. They make you think bigger,
Yeah.
question everything.
So keep exploring, right? Dig deeper. The world of MMA, it's more than just punches and kicks. There's a whole story there. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.